Good evening, Krishnan College. Welcome to episode 6. And today we have a very special guest who goes back to being my classmate at the Penfield Middle School and classmate at North Penn High School. And he is a talented individual studying psychology and neuroscience as a double major, along with being a EMT certified martial arts instructor. So welcome to the podcast, Shrey. How are you doing today?
Good, Akshay. Thank you for the warm introduction. I'm excited to be on this podcast today.
All right, sounds good. Let's get it started with just hearing from you, Shrey. Just take a minute to introduce yourself and some of your interests.
Yeah, so I'm Shrey. I'm a rising junior psychology and neuroscience double major at Temple University, which is in Philadelphia. Besides that, I would say Akshay actually kind of described me really well. I am an EMT. I do work at Jefferson right now, currently as an ambulance driver. And I am also a martial arts instructor for my martial arts school back home. And I do a lot of research with mostly older populations and neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Cool, that sounds awesome. And I didn't realize that you were actually an ambulance driver. That sounds like a really exhilarating experience. Like, have you had to do any of those like high speed drives to the hospital?
Yeah, and also to like scenes where someone like badly hurt. But
Oh,
it gets the adrenaline going, I'll say that.
yeah, well, definitely. Well, I mean, compared to that, I bet the college application process was pretty calm.
I
Like,
would say for me, actually, it was actually kind of the opposite.
oh,
Um, I did not have a very good SAT. I will be very blunt with that. So I was very cognizant of that, and I really like chose what schools I wanted to apply for, especially for my reaches and my safeties.
hmm.
So in the end, I got accepted to 6 colleges, but I chose Temple because of its proximity. And then I also looked at the research that they were doing currently in the neuroscience department, and I was very interested by what they were doing. So 2 years in, I will say that I definitely think I made the right decision. The community and the resources at Temple gratefully like changed my whole perception of my life and what I wanted to do.
Mhm. Right. Like, so I guess when you say that it changed your perception, what was something going in that you didn't expect that you would be involved in now? Like in terms of that change, like from what you thought in high school to the present day.
So in high school, I did think I was going to be pre-med, but I thought I was going to be a biology major or
Mm,
even
got
a
it.
chemistry major at that, or something of a combination between the two. But I took AP psychology my senior year, and we had one specific unit on neuroscience, and I found that unit to be the most interesting unit that I've like ever learned in high school. So I was like, if Temple has like a specific neuroscience major, I'm gonna take it. And the thing about Temple is they actually have two unique neuroscience majors. So they have one that's in the College of Liberal Arts, and then one that's in the College of Science and Technology. The one in College of Science and Technology is more molecular, so it's more based off of what you're looking like, what neurons are specifically doing. And then the College of Liberal Arts is more how it affects the human, so
Mhm.
cognition and behavior. So I chose cognition and behavior because I wanted to see the real results in people. And that's what led to me going to Temple.
Yeah, I think that the way that you described your decision, it seems like you were very calculated by considering all the factors when you were selecting a college based on ones that you applied for. So I think that that's a great lesson for people to take away from this episode. So thanks for sharing that. So I guess just like going back, it seems like you're accepted to 6 schools, so there must have been a lot of applications and time management associated with that. So how did you create a short list of the schools that you really wanted to apply to for this specific type of role or program that you seem interested in?
I would say my preliminary list was around 20 colleges. In the end,
Wow.
I applied to 15 in the end.
Hmm.
I would say I had an even split. I had five that were like reach schools, five that were match schools, and five which were safeties. So I tried to make it so I would prioritize my reach schools and my match schools first in terms of the application process.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I did Common App like the day it opened. I'm pretty sure I did everything that didn't involve like the essay and all like the actual hard things because everything else I had already prepared for. And
Right,
then I took a lot of time crafting my essays for all my colleges that I'm applying to, all my supplementals. I had multiple people review it, and then I
right.
think I submitted all my colleges by Thanksgiving break, most likely.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
think that having that clear, defined schedule probably helped you like really zero in. And once you got those acceptances come in, since you like put in all that work before to like really craft your essays and like understand the value that each school brought, I bet that once you got accepted, like it was a lot easier to see, okay, this is why like Tempo is a good fit for me. Because you seem to be like really knowledgeable about the different paths that a student can take within the program. So I think that that's really cool. And since you've been at Temple, you have been able to really go and pursue those paths by doing research and I believe like two different types of settings. So just like talk about that experience. I guess we'll start with the cognitive neuropsychology lab. So yeah, so just go ahead and talk about how you got those opportunities and what it's been like so far.
Sure. So I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, Akshay, but I'm the first
Yeah.
pre-med on your podcast.
I believe we've had one more pre-med. Like my friend yesterday, Rishi Suresh is a pre-med too.
Okay. So I think he would agree with me on this. Try and get involved in research as early as possible if you're
Yeah.
trying to be a pre-med. Research can really open other pathways to, let's say, maybe you don't think medicine is the right choice for you or the right path for you. Research can open up other pathways and can help you get maybe a master's degree or a doctorate degree. So for my research, I started looking at research actually before, like I said, before I applied to college or before I got accepted to Temple. And then when I got to Temple, the first thing I did was look at all the research labs and kind of made a checklist of what I wanted to research on and then what labs fit that description. So the cognitive neuropsychology lab was the first lab. It was like my dream lab, my number one lab that I wanted to get into. So at first, I emailed the research coordinator like five times and they did not respond. But at the end of the semester, I basically begged them for an interview, and then I got one, and then I got into the lab. And then half a semester in, they realized like this guy is like the real deal. So, and like they could easily tell that I was very interested about what they were doing. So in turn, I was able to mm, have a bigger load in the lab, do have a bigger role, do my own research as well, alongside with helping the other graduate and doctoral students. And I think I've been in that lab now for 2 years basically, and it has been very informative and educative. I've been able to go to conferences in Boston, California, as well as Arizona. I've been able to present my research at Temple as well for getting, I received a Laura, which is a liberal arts undergraduate research award. And I was the keynote speaker at the award ceremony where I was able to present my research. So I think it was a really great opportunity, and I think overall research can really boost someone's med school application. And even if you're not a pre-med, doing research even in something like computer science or something related along those lines is very educating and is very like eye-opening to see like what kind of research you can do and what effect it can have in the real world.
Yeah, and I think that your description of how you're able to attain those opportunities, it just really shows that you took the initiative to like reach out and like you took the first step. And like even if you did get those rejections at first, it like I guess experiences like this show that it is definitely worth it to really take the effort and look for a lab that can really foster your growth as a student and professional. So I think that that is true regardless of what major you pursue, or maybe it's not research, maybe it's like taking on projects or taking on like anything beyond class that will help your future professional goals, I think is really important. And I think that your experiences really show that. So thank you. That's great.
Mhm.
And something that really stood out to me personally, just as a personal curiosity, is is your collaboration with the NIH. So what did that look like within your lab experience, and how did you leverage that, that large organization to really drive your results in the lab?
So that internship I got the summer of my freshman year, I was encouraged to apply by my um PI. So for
Yeah.
those who don't know, a PI is the person who runs the lab. It's usually a professor. So she encouraged me to apply for this position. I at first was unsure because I thought I was going up against people that were way beyond my league, but then she encouraged me enough. So I did apply, and with her glowing recommendation letter, I was able to be accepted. So at first I was shocked because I like written that off. I was like, there is no way I'm getting into the NIH. So the research project itself was based off of German technology, or computers, or not, sorry, adults fear with computers or technology in general. So
Mm-hmm.
my research was basically on how adults are more afraid of computers than they've ever been, which
Mm-hmm.
is due to the technical age and how and technology is advancing at a
Yeah.
rapid rate during this time. So I was at the NIH headquarters in Maryland for this time during the summer. I was doing research every day. So my day in the life, I would say, consists of me. It was basically a 9 to 5, but instead of doing like cell cultures or like
Yeah.
doing blood samples, I was doing human trials. So I was taking like all
Oh,
these
awesome.
humans that volunteered to be part of the trial, and I was testing them on their computer anxiety and their cognition and whatnot. So at the end of my program, I was able to gather all my results and analyze them and then come up with a plausible conclusion. And that actually did create an abstract, and eventually I was able to get published into a journal with that research. So it was a great experience, and I was
Yeah.
grateful for the NIH for offering me this opportunity.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
that all stem from you just taking that first step. So I think that that's like a great piece of advice to to those who want to get involved in research. I mean, just from my experiences as well, I think that kind of lesson, it's like if you go after chasing an opportunity that you're passionate about, then that can really open a lot of doors, and even doors that you didn't expect to be opened. I mean, the NIH getting into a program like that is no small feat. So that's truly awesome, Shrey. And I'm so glad to hear a fellow Penfield Charger going out into the world and making a difference, and also North Penn Knights. So
Yep.
yeah, that's awesome. Um, yeah, so I mean, beyond all your great feats in your given professional field, you also have a passion for MMA and martial arts. So how do you balance your time and maintain a stable mental state when you're at college, doing all of these diverse activities?
So I think something that's very important is that you should get 8 hours of sleep no matter what. I think getting 8 hours of sleep truly helped me like be more energetic in the morning instead of sluggish. I think one other thing is I actually started running, and I actually saw a reel earlier today where they were talking about how like someone is like someone is becoming mentally stable if they start enjoying running. So I've been enjoying running a lot, and I think
That's
it's been,
good.
yeah, that is very good. So besides that, I would say use like a Notion or like a Google Calendar to track your entire day, all the activities, all the stuff that you have to do. It's very great to see everything organized, and then when you're able to check something off, it gives you like a sense of like accomplishment, like, oh, I checked something off my to-do list. Now I feel better. And then I think something else is balance. You should try and work out every day, 5 days a week, take 2 days to rest, stretch, do mobility, and try and engage yourself with spiritual wins as well. So I would say I've been meditating recently, and I think it's been really helpful for my mind to take the stress away from all the stuff that I've been doing. So
Mhm.
in like college itself is hard, and being able to time manage does take some time. I remember first year I was kind of a mess, but after I realized what I needed to do, so sophomore year was a lot more of the balance, a lot more of a routine, and it was I was able to get everything I wanted accomplished, even though I had a very limited amount of time to do it. So I would say to try and get yourself a routine, try and aim for a physical, mental, and spiritual win every day, and then try and get around 8 hours of sleep to make sure that your body is staying fully recovered.
Yeah, I think that that's a great piece of advice. And it is hard to do at times, like when the semester gets busy. But like, I feel like me as well. I mean, like being a chemical engineer, sometimes the most I can get is six. But I mean, just that principle of having balance in those different spheres of life, I think is very important. And I think as I go through more years of schooling and professional experience, like the more I realize that. So thanks for that, like really relevant insight. I think that that's something that often gets overlooked, even during the application process. It's like I have all these schools and like I need to get them in like now, but you still also have to have balance because you are still a human being during that time. And I think that can actually help elevate your applications. I'm sure that you agree.
Yeah.
Like if you have anything to add.
Especially like I remember one specific story. I took one time, I slept for 4 hours, but beforehand I wrote an entire supplemental essay for a college. I woke up, so the next day I didn't do any like college prep for that specific college because I wanted to test something. Then I slept 8 hours, woke up again and looked at that college essay, and I found like so many errors. And like if I
Yeah.
genuinely submitted that, I would be like, yeah, there's no way I would have gone into that college. Like it was
Yeah.
not a good essay.
Right. Right. Sometimes like sleep can really just clear things up. So, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So, okay. So I know we touched on this briefly, but where do you see yourself after Temple? Like going to grad school, med school, research?
So the dream right now, hopefully, is to be an MD and a PhD candidate at the same time.
Nice. Yeah.
It is very hard to do, I will admit, but I think I should be able to get it done. Hopefully, I get into a med school by next spring, not next spring, 2 springs from now. So I would apply next summer after doing my
Got it.
MCAT, which is I'm doing next spring.
Got it.
So,
Yeah.
so I hope not to take any gap years. Worst comes to worst, I take one gap year. I can
Yeah.
always work as an EMT and get more clinical hours before I apply to med school again. But I kind of just want to do it straight through because I think if I take 1 year off of schooling and I get right back into that like mentality of like you got to study like 5, 6 hours a day, I don't think I'd be able to do it, frankly.
Yeah.
So hopefully I want to become a neurosurgeon in the future. So something related to like pain in the spine or pain in the brain. And then in terms of a PhD, I want to do my PhD on Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease, but specifically with the neurons that are attached like the neuron degradation. So like when the neurons become more like diseased and they have less reaction time, I want to see how that relates to the onset of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Wow, those are some awesome goals to have. And like when you get closer to that time, you're gonna have to go through another application cycle too. So what's something that you're gonna try to do differently this time than like you did your first time?
I think last time I frankly think I picked too many colleges to go into. So I think I need to do more soul searching. I need to do more research on the colleges that I am currently interested in as
Yeah.
of now and trying to see if I can find different options or like less options so that I have less burden on myself, especially
Right.
during the med school process, because there's a lot more essays to be written. There's a lot more stuff to be
Yep.
put into a med school application. So hopefully
Yep.
having less schools will make my image more clear of where I want to go. And then hopefully that'll make the interview process also easier.
Right. And like another big part of the med school application that like I know people are probably considering like or concerned about is the MCAT. So what is your experience with prepping for that, or like have you taken it yet, or like where in that process are you right now?
So I actually started prep as soon as college ended for my sophomore year. I want
Mm-hmm.
to get an early start with my content review so
Yep.
I can make sure I have all the topics down before I start just spamming practice questions and trying to do like practice exams. I did take a practice exam before I started my content review, and I actually wasn't like disappointed with my score. It was actually a pretty good score considering I haven't taken biochemistry yet or organic chemistry too.
Oh,
So, yeah. But there is one section in MCAT that I want everyone who's a pre-med to be worried about, which is cars. Do not underestimate cars. Cars itself is
yeah. What does CAR stand for? Yeah.
critical analysis and then spatial reasoning. It's like
Oh,
basically it's like the PSSA with like a bunch of passages, but it's like one detail will get you the wrong answer, and then you have like 90, it's 90 questions in 90 minutes is what
oh
I'm,
wow.
and every single passage is like takes you at least 3 minutes to read. So it's
Oh,
very like high paced, and you need to make sure that you're staying on time
right.
with like each passage.
Right. Okay. Wow. So it's like you have 3 minutes to read the passage, but then you essentially can only read it once because like you don't have time to like read each individual question and go back probably. Like you'd be constrained on time. So I think ooh, that sounds tricky. Yeah. So I guess beyond the MCAT and like all your research experiences and starting early on that essay prep, which I'm assuming that you'll do. Like, do you have like any other like tidbits of advice for, I guess, those that are pre-med or interested in like in the track?
I think really to be a pre-med, I think, okay, no, first thing I'll say is that you should try and get friends. When you're a freshman, try and get friends that are like juniors or seniors, because
Mm-hmm.
if they go to med school, they can give you advice, which currently I have been receiving advice from med school students. And then once you become a junior or senior, you should like adopt a freshman who's pre-med and like take them under your wing so you can teach them the mistakes that you made. So I would say try and make a lot of friends that are in like higher standing than you, so like upperclassmen. Try and join clubs, but make sure you don't join like every single pre-med club that they have. Try
Yeah.
and like make, in my case, I made a club that's different, but try and join a club that doesn't have anything to do with pre-med, just something that you like. So I actually made the first ever Temple table tennis club with my friends, and I think it's
Oh,
been,
cool.
yeah, so it's been really fun to help make that club, manage that club, and like
Did you
create new
watch Marty
members.
Supreme?
Yes, I did watch Marty Supreme. I thought it
Yeah.
was a great movie.
Yeah, me too. Loved it. Yeah. Wait, sorry to disrupt. Continue.
No, no, it's great. It's great. It's fine. I would say that Marty Supreme really encouraged me to make that club. A couple people actually asked us, like, is this called the Marty Supreme Club? And I was like, no, sadly not. We're not that good. We're not that good.
Nah, not yet.
Not yet, not yet. That's plan B if ever comes to that.
Always
I
good
would
to
say though, doing that club has really helped me like balance the load of being pre-med. Like
yeah.
being in pre-med clubs is like everyone there is sweaty and competitive. Everyone's like, I want this eboard spot. I want this eboard spot. Like people are competing with each other because like the general stigma around a pre-med is that like you have to be perfect or quote unquote like you have to
Hmm.
have no flaws, which like that's just not possible. Like everyone
Yeah.
has a flaw at some point. I've had my flaws. And I think the sooner you get rid of that mentality that you have to be perfect, I think the sooner the better so that you can become like a more like not competent pre-med, but someone who like just realizes that you don't have to be perfect to get into med school. There's a lot of stories of people who have this certain GPA or this certain MCAT score and they still got into med school. It's
Hmm.
really not about your grades as much as it is about your impact and your story, is what
Right.
I've seen.
Right. Like definitely. And I think that that's relevant to most majors or post-college career plans. Like from the perspective of an engineer, it's not really about who has the 4.0. It's about, okay, who was able to join a research lab or showcase their understanding through an internship. So yeah, I think those are all relevant messages that can connect to any field of study. So Yeah, for sure. That sounds great. So, Shrey, I have also been scrolling Instagram a little bit like of course a healthy amount to maintain the balance that you were describing earlier.
Hmm.
But I do come across your vlogs at times.
Uh-oh.
So, just like tell us about what that's been like and just your experience with that.
Okay, so I do vlogs. So for anyone who's interested, it's
Yeah,
Shrey in the
follow
Life on Instagram. Yes, please follow.
up.
Please. So I actually started this for one of the internships I was doing last semester, Think Neuro. They had this new opportunity to become like a UGC creator or for user generated content for people who don't know. So I took up the role and then I was promoted to co-head. So I was managing other interns' like performance and like their videos to make sure everything's like good. So over time I was like, what if I just like do this for fun? Because I genuinely found it fun to like record my day and see how everything, how different it really looks between like, because I know Akshay, if you scroll Instagram, you see people's day in the life and you're like sitting there like, there's just no way someone's life is like this. Like, someone's just like up at like 4 a.m. running 20 miles and then it's like, oh, yep, well, now I just do nothing for the rest of the day. And it's like, it's very
Yeah.
unpractical. So I kind of made my channel to make it as practical as possible. Like there's like times where I would post and just be like, yeah, I did nothing all day, guys. Like
Yeah.
life of a pre-med, I did nothing all day. Like it's very, you have to like realize that like even though you're a pre-med, you're still human at the end of the day. So you're still gonna have days where you don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah,
But I think
of
it's the
course.
days when you don't feel like doing anything. If you do something, it's considered more of a win. So I
Mhm.
think content creation has really helped me like keep myself motivated as well as, I like seeing other people like be motivated by what I'm doing and like being motivated, like, oh, you started running, I'm gonna start running. Even like Tarun, actually, one of your previous podcast people,
Yeah.
he actually did a run yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, everyone's on the run trend now. Yeah, it was great, you know?
Yeah, that's sick. And I think that like that message that you have of just normalizing life, I think that's the point of this podcast too. It's like really to just give people a just like a neutral perspective and just like a down to earth perspective on what the college application process and college life is really like. So like thank you for bringing that up. Like I think that that is super important and like and it's needed especially for our generation where things on social media can often be blown out of proportion or falsely reported or it can seem extravagant but at the end of the day we're all just humans behind a screen and like I think most people are like more like you than you think and like more willing to help and like be part of a community. So I think that that's awesome. So Shrey, I know that you said that they can find you at Shrey in the Life on Instagram.
Mhm.
Like where else can people connect with you after this?
I do have a LinkedIn as well. You can also follow me on my main Instagram account if you guys have any questions. But if you have any specific questions related to pre-med, if you can direct it to my In the Life account, because I am going to start posting like pre-med tips or my advice in the future. So stay tuned. It's gonna be very a busy couple of weeks as I try and figure out what pre-meds are or what prospective pre-meds are looking for and what current pre-meds are looking to have more information on.
Hmm.
I would say LinkedIn would probably be a good other way to connect because I'm on LinkedIn a healthy amount, I would say. Healthy
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah. Right. Well, you heard it here, folks. Follow Shrey on Instagram at Shrey in the Life and connect on LinkedIn as well. So that'll be a great way to connect and to learn more about pre-med. Well, well, we're approaching the end of our time, so I just want to say thank you again, Shrey. This has been an awesome episode of Krishnan College, our sixth ever episode. And just thank you so much for being a good friend for all these years and hopping on the podcast.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me. When I saw Tarun got in there, I was like, yeah, I gotta get into this, man. I can't let Tarun one up me, man.
Yeah. T Money's the catalyst. All right.
That is
See you
true.
later. Peace
Yeah.
out.
Peace.